Alright, today we're going to change the air conditioning cabin filter on a Volvo S90. However, I will list in the description all of the vehicles that are the same as this because they're starting to design it so that all the vehicles are the same. So you can get a filter, the languages it comes in: German, English, French, Spanish. I don't recognize the other ones. Same here, but it says, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, consult the service personnel. So here we go. It goes on the right or the left, depending on what driver's side is. So this is a left-hand drive, so ours is going on the right. It says, caution, watch the flow direction. So you take your filter out, and this is filter 314077748. I change them every couple of years, whether they need it or not. There is your flow direction, and it needs to go in front of the vehicle. So the flow arrow points towards the front of the vehicle. And what's really a little crazy is it's kind of cocked to the side, so the front of the vehicle is actually off at an angle a little bit. It's also pretty clear that these cabin air filters are charcoal activated. If you look, it will say Volvo. It will say the part number, 314077748. It'll say made in Germany. There's also a date on here, October 19th, 2026. So that's when the charcoal activated filter expires. How about that? Alright, the Volvo filter weighs over a pound, 1.06 pounds, just under a half a kilogram, like 0.48 kilograms. So it's pretty hefty. And that's what you're going to notice if you buy an aftermarket, is compared to factory, it's going to be much lighter. It's going to be much lighter. It's going to be much thinner with the pelts. There might be fewer pelts. If it's the same number of pelts, it's definitely going to be thinner. Also, I didn't know whether you just noticed, but there is a difference between this side and this side. Thus, the directional arrow. Okay, so I did decide to grab an aftermarket filter versus a Volvo filter to show you what I was saying earlier. So here we have a made in China filter. That doesn't mean anything bad. Gailey owns Volvo, but let me show you on the scale what I'm talking about. Okay, Volvo filter, 1.06 pounds, 0.48 kilograms. The aftermarket filter, 0.31 kilograms, 0.68 pounds. So as you can see, there is a difference. So I have the aftermarket on the right and the Volvo on the left. You can see the pelts are much thicker in the Volvo. Also, the activated charcoal area is darker, which really doesn't mean anything. Then on the other side, the Volvo pleats are also thicker, thus the weight is lighter. And here on the aftermarket, the pleats are thinner, and it doesn't seem as robust. Okay, there's one less pleat in the aftermarket one, but what I did notice was with respect to the flow direction, if I can stay on camera, is they put their fold on the inside and Volvo put their fold on the outside. So I don't know what's going on there, but you can see the folds, but if you look with respect to the direction arrows, they're different. No, I'm not saying one's better than the other or anything like that. I'm just showing you the differences. And I'm also saying that you're going to get better quality out of OEM. So, I don't know. I say buy quality. You really aren't saving all that much money in the end. Whoops, I apologize. This is a post-production insert into the video. I lost some footage. And what I want to show you is take your T25. So you're going to need a T25 to remove the two screws, one over here and one over here. That'll allow the access panel to be removed. Now there are three points on the access panel, one by both screws and one in the middle. And they're just kind of little, they look like arrows, and they clip into place and hold the panel up. So you'll see it on the reassembly later in the video. So just take the two screws out and then you can just poke the panel off. But you're going to have to take it evenly off the front and then pull it out from the back. So again, I apologize for this post-production shot. Alright, next, to access the filter, we have two tabs to unlock, one fore, one aft, and oh my, it doesn't come down. What's going on? And that is because on either end it's secured, and I'll show you after I remove it, but basically you look up underneath here, or use a mirror if you have to, and then you just push it aside, but you also have one on the other side. Alright, I'll get this side off here. And there's one on the other side too. But it came off. Then you can see that the hose is connected. I'm going to take the hose off, just to make life easier. So on the firewall side, it's just kind of clipped in there. You know, you can actually just drop it down or push it over a little bit to unhook it. On the inboard side, you can unlock it by pushing on it a little bit, but as you can see, it barely flexes. Let me try and hold it steady. It just barely flexes. But that's enough to get it off. Or if you can get your tool or finger up in here to move it, that'll do it too. Next, I can see some dirt and debris in there, so I'm going to go ahead and wash this off. Okay, now I have the camera moving forward, so I want you to see the orientation of the filter. I just tucked the hose out of the way. Also want you to note that there is a little shelf right here, which means you're going to have to compress the filter a little bit to get it around there. Also, some debris is probably going to fall on this little shelf right here, maybe onto the footwell. You may have to clean all that off, vacuum it all off when you pull out the filter, depending on how old it is and how much crud is up there. So you just reach up here and you start pulling it down. You see it wants to come out real easy. And then it kind of hits the shelf over there, but it's pretty flexible. As you can see, a little bit of a cording effect, but it comes right out. Next, what I like to do, what a technician probably won't do, is look up in there and make sure it's clean, maybe vacuum it out, wipe it out at the very least. Alright, I like to date my filters. Got May 2021. I have the flow arrow because I'm going to put it in this way, and the flow direction is going to be hidden. So I want it up, and this will be exposed on the bottom, and in that way I'll see the arrow and I'll be able to read the date when I just take the bottom panel off. Alright, so let's get this in there. Alright, again, it's going to be a squeeze. Need to make sure we're fed in there pretty well. Alright, it's fun to get it started. It just seems to want to catch on everything. As you can see by my twisting and turning. There we go. go. There it is on the shelf. And up in place. I guess the bottom pad is going to hold it up. And then it'll stick itself because there are fins up in there. And you see there are blades here too. So that'll all grip into the filter and hold it in place. Alright, next I just want to put the bottom panel on there, capture the filter, and get it into position. And you can lock both sides here. If I can get it to click in place. You heard it click, at least I did. Lock the two tabs. Put the hose back on. Then we need to put the panel back on. Alright, the best way to put the panel back on is you see these middle pieces. They're going to go up right in here. So we'll just set those in place. Everything's all clicked in place. We'll put our two screws back in. Here's one. I didn't really show it quite as well as I'm showing it here. Didn't use a screwdriver. It doesn't need to be all that tight. Plus my camera is actually on the screwdriver so I can get at this angle. Alright, screw number 2 goes over here, which is not in the shot, so it's right here. Alright, this one is easy to access. That's it, job's done. Alright, that's my video on changing cabin air filter on Volvo vehicles. I'm going to list all the vehicles this applies to because, again, they're using the same parts on many different vehicle types. So it's going to be exactly the same or extremely similar across all different model types. And I'll list those in the description. Thank you very much for watching.